Hello, students. Today we are focusing on color. So we're going to just do a quick activity where you can practice utilizing the Adobe Color Wheel. I'm going to start by having you go to google.com and you're going to type in pumpkin because we're looking for an image to work with. And you can either just put in pumpkin, or if you would prefer to use clip art, you can add that instead. And then you're going to click on images. Now, of course, once we're in images, we can go to tools and select usage rights. And as always, we want to be good digital citizens and select Creative Commons licenses. From here, I'm going to select a pumpkin that I like, and I'm going to download it. I have a Mac, so I can just drag and drop, whereas you may have to right click in order to save in your download folder. So please choose a pumpkin that you like. What I need you to do is open a new drawing. So you're going to type in drawings.google.com. Make sure you don't forget that S on the end of drawings. We're going to just title this Pumpkin Colors for today. You always want to make sure you are titling any new docs or sheets or any Google tools that you're utilizing so you don't end up with a bazillion of them, of these untitled documents. Now what you're going to do is drag your image in, or you can upload the image you selected and resize it to whatever you think you would prefer. Again, we're just playing with color today, so we're not going to actually make an ad with this, but I want to give you the opportunity to play around with a color picker, which is part of the ColorZilla. We downloaded a few weeks ago as a Chrome extension, as well as the Adobe Color Wheel. So if you haven't downloaded the ColorZilla extension, you can access it by going to modules in our courses and scrolling down to the 0.32 color and font activity. All of the links are located here. So if you click on ColorZilla, it will take you to the extension. Obviously, I already have it uploaded, so or downloaded. I don't need to worry about it. But if you haven't downloaded it, please do so now. And then the final step is, if you haven't created a pin for it at the top of your Chrome page, you can access your Chrome extensions by clicking on the puzzle piece on the top right-hand side. And then that's where you can access your pins. So you want to make sure to pin that. So now I'm just going to work on my layout a little bit. I want to play around with the colors utilizing ColorZilla. And so I'm going to create a box just as a starting point. We're not going to really get into fonts today. So I have this box here now, which I'm going to work on changing the color. You'll notice that my pumpkin image, though, is behind it. In order to fix that, you click on the image that you would like to move. And if you right click, you get these options here, and you're going to click on order and bring to front so that now the pumpkin is actually on top. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and group this together so I don't have to worry about moving things around and messing it up. So if you hold down the shift key and select both of your items and then right click again, you can group things together. So now what will happen is if I move either the images, they move together. And I like to do that when I'm working with multiple images and fonts. You can do the same thing with text boxes as well. Now I want to actually play around with the color. So I'm going to go up to my color picker and select pick color from page. And you'll notice that when you hover over the pumpkin, the color above in the sample changes as well. So I'm just going to select an orange I like. I think I'm going to go with a lighter orange. And that looks good. So now this has given me my hex code. And if I go back up to my ColorZilla extension, I can select color picker, and that's where I can copy the hex code and then change the background based on that. So now if I select my blue box and I go to my colors, I can click custom. And at the top, that's where I can paste in that hex code to get that cool color. Maybe I want to make it gradient like I've done in the past. So I can click on my box again and go to gradient, custom. And then this, of course, is where I can play around with adding different colors to change. So like it looks like more layering going on. So again, if I want to copy in that hex code, I can play with the transparency a little bit as well. Maybe I don't want it to be quite such a bold, solid color. So I'm going to click OK and see how that looks. With the gray, it's actually made it, because I made it so light, it actually makes it less orangish. So I'm going to try again and maybe actually add a more solid color in and see what that does. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. Again, if you want to change it from radial to linear, so circle versus a line, you can select that up here. You can also change the location, of course. But I kind of like this. This looks kind of like a nice fall setting. So I'm going to click OK, and I think it looks great. The final thing I want you to do today is to have the chance to play around a little bit with the Adobe Color Wheel. So again, if you go to our 0.32 color and font activity and click on this link, it will take you to the Adobe Color Wheel. Now, one way you can play around with this in order to come up with a color palette, as was discussed in the video we watched earlier today, you can actually just paste in that hex code for that orange that you selected, and then you can determine if you want monochromatic, complementary. I'm actually going to do monochromatic, so I need to repaste that code in. And now what's cool is I have these colors that are already up in my color palette on the top right hand side. So these are, if I am going for monochromatic again, these are the additional colors I might want to use as part of my color scheme. So I would just want you guys to play around a little bit with this, see how it works, maybe try the various types of color palettes you can create based on that orange you've selected, and then maybe find a way to integrate it into your practice ad that you've started. So what I might do then is maybe I want to create some kind of banner that has kind of a cool complementary color. So I'm going to go back to, I like this blue a lot. I think it looks really good. So I'm going to actually copy this. And I don't want it to be too bold for my little piece because it would just be too distracting. So I'm just going to make a small box. And this is where I might maybe add in some text or something. And so I'm going to go up to the fill color box again. I'm going to click custom. I'm going to paste that new hex code from the blue I selected and see if I like that. Now it seems pretty dark, so I might actually go back up and customize it a little bit. Maybe make it a little bit more transparent so it's not quite so dark. And then I would basically like go from there, and I could add in text if I wanted to. Maybe I want to make this larger. So again, we're just playing around with color today. I want you just to experiment in playing with the different settings to see what you like in terms of your color palettes.